Call the meeting to order. Anybody that wishes to speak can do so during the meeting. Okay, we need the, see, Clay's not here. He's not gonna, we need the minutes. We'll have to wait on those. Correspondence to the commission, do we have it, Deb?
Yeah, we do.
Peter,
Yeah,
We do have 3 correspondents, basically 4. There's a gentleman called Joe Spinelli that I did mention before.
Yep.
He's now put it in writing that he would like to build a hangar at the Fitchburg Airport, and he would like to know what the next steps are once it's gone through the commission. So the commission basically needs to vote on whether he can build the hangar. So I guess we need plans and everything else following that.
that's correct. Okay,
He wants to build a hangar the same size as the Fitchburg Pilots Association hangar.
okay,
So it's quite substantial. He wants to put an SF-50 jet in there, plus a Cirrus SR-22.
all
He owns
right,
both of those. And he will be moving from Hanscom Field if he comes.
nice.
There's another one that we've drawn from Hanscom, which is good news.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is not, Peter, this is not the guy that we were talking to a few months back.
No,
No, he's here now. He's in
This
hangar
is
10.
additional. This is on.
This is another one. Yeah.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
So you need to have a vote, I think, to get it approved and then get it through. But then we've got to talk to the FAA because we're coming up with the airport master plan, and you know that needs to be, or take that into consideration. We'll have to speak to what's her name, Nick? Richie? Michelle, is it?
Michelle Ritchie is the planner for Massachusetts. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
okay, so we got I'd like to have a motion put up that we move forward with this. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Any conversation? Okay, motion carries. Project review, Gail.
No, hold on a minute. I said I've got 4 letters.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Montechusett Joint Transportation Committee meets every month. And in the past, we've had a representative from the city and from the airport, and they asked me if we want to continue with that same guy that represents the airport and the city. And that was Kit Walker. So he left the commission about 4 years ago, and I spoke to Richie Liberatore, and he's accepted the position if everybody agrees that he can take that position. So
Congratulations, Richard.
yeah, everybody's happy. I can forward this through, replacing Kit Walker with Richie Liberatore, right?
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out and contact them just to let them know what's going on.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
I says, I'm gonna reach out to them and just make contact with them.
Okay, have you got the details? I can send those to you.
No, you already sent them to me.
I did, didn't I? Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Mr. Raymond is here.
Ah, Richard, Mr. Raymond, how are you? Unmute yourself, Clay. Clay, unmute yourself.
How's that?
That's better.
There you go. Okay, I'm gonna move back up the agenda now that you're on board here. The minutes, where do we stand with those?
I'm afraid none of them are ready for review. However, they're in the works.
Okay,
I apologize. I've had some computer changes and I'm working on a Mac. Life has not been easy.
okay. All right, we'll just table that for now. Okay, correspondent, are we all set with correspondent?
No.
Okay,
No, I've had a letter from the Fitchburg Pilots Association because every 12 months they have to give an update of what's happened in the hangar. And they're letting us know that in the past 12 months, they've installed cabinets and a countertop within the hangar. And the current balance, which they're supposed to do, the maintenance fund is $5,000 as requested. So they're just letting us know that. Okay.
Yep.
And then we had a letter from the City of Leominster, from the DPW, and that went to Nick Ippolito at Gale. because what they want to do is get permission to have the authority to use the land that we purchased to get onto a sewer that they want to put underneath the railway line and drop it down to Crawford Street. Now, I actually got a plan from him, and it's about a half a mile from the end of 3-2. It's to the right side if you're entering 3-2. It's the other side of Crawford Street.
Yep.
And it's the other side of the railway line. So it is a significant area away from the airport. And I said to Nick, I said, I can't see this giving any problems because the boom's only going to be 20 feet high. So planes coming over there at that stage are going to be at least 500 feet above. But Nick said it's got to go on a 1074, Nick?
7460.
7460, thank you. So Nick's going to go back and tell them that they've got to do that to comply. So, okay.
This is a question for Nick and the solicitor, and for you, Peter, for that matter. What is the city? Are they engaged in some kind of lawsuit with us? Are they pursuing something like that? Ben?
Hold on a second, Mayor. I'm trying to pull up my feed here. Mayor, I think you're remembering the electrical box that I know Nick remembers that we installed twice on the side of the road in the behind enemy lines in the city of Leominster, and there was a requirement that we had to reinstall a perfectly well installed assembly because of an aesthetics issue, I think it was.
Mhm.
And it's interesting that the shoe seems to be on the other foot.
Well, yeah, and I want to be able to, I want to put that size 8 foot into a size 6 sneaker. You know what I mean?
I understand your
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I think we would all strive to the same goal, Mayor.
Okay.
I can't remember how much that redo cost us. I think it was like $7,500. And then the other issue would be is the dissemination of the land, which is really under FAA control. We would have to get permission from FAA to even release that portion. I think we had to do that with our own wastewater treatment line.
Yeah. So what is it again they want to do? They want to put in a sewer line or something? Is that what they want?
A larger sewer line.
A sewer for what? Their property over there? I mean,
It's to bring it through our property to get it to the wastewater plant.
Oh, really? Well, okay. So, Vinny, you going to get involved in this or what?
Yep, absolutely. I would like
Oh,
to just
good,
get a
okay.
better drawing of what the track would be. I'd like to run it by Professor Morawski
Okay, okay,
and just get his input.
okay.
And then I'd probably just check with the FAA, make sure that they know that we'll be disseminating or providing rights to the airport land. And I think we had, if I'm not mistaken, we've recently received an appraisal for the city to pay to the airport on an accounting basis for the right to install a sewer line or to improve a sewer line. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was about $3,500. So that seems to be, would have to look at that appraisal, and maybe Leominster would get the appraisal done, would have to hire our appraiser. I think it was Howard Dono. And then we would have to work that fee out and the cost.
Right, okay.
So we'll look at that, Mayor.
Yeah, we want to be as helpful as we can be.
I understand.
In my hand, Mr. Mayor, I have the right of entry without prejudice sent over for my signature as acting chair. I guess I should hold off on that until.
Yeah, I would too. Yes, I would. Yeah. Well, wait for further direction from the solicitor, but
Yeah, I will.
yeah, we want to make sure we orchestrate this properly.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if you could forward that to me along with the credentials of the person that sent it to you, then I
Okay.
could let them know that it's a cumbersome and complicated procedure to work this issue out with the FAA.
Sure, very, very happy to do so, Counselor.
Okay, all right.
Okay, any more correspondence, Peter?
No, sir.
Okay. Project review, Gail, that's your, no ball, Nick.
Okay, everyone can hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, so Gail is administering 2 projects on behalf of the commission. We're all very familiar with both at this point. The first one is the runway project. This project is now substantially complete. The final inspection occurred on Friday, July 24th, at which time any remaining deficiencies were identified and incorporated into the final punch list and sent over to the contractor. The contractor is or should be working on those items. There may be a few, like the seeding of the bare spots, that we're waiting until weather like this in order to do, so the grass actually grows. But there is one final item that needs to be addressed, and that is the drainage issue on the runway 32 end near the parallel taxiway. There's an area of ponding that does not drain fully within 72 hours following a storm event. So I think we have to do some additional corrective action there. And I believe we've identified a good way to kiss DW White goodbye by requiring them to come in and bring in fill to create berms at each infiltration area. This is an item that the contractor penny bid, so they're going to get paid like 10 cents to do $10,000 worth of work. And I'm looking forward to having that discussion with them. So once that corrective action has been performed, the project will be ready for final reimbursement and closeout. That being said, there is still the issue of the new approaches for the airport. And Peter, you had asked for an update from the aerial surveyor that was doing the AGIS upload. I CC'd you on the email, but he did not respond to that email. I got a phone call, and he said that the items that FAA identified as obstructions, certain ones have been eliminated. I think he said they're at about 1/10 of what there were. And the remaining items are not obstructions to approach surfaces or any Part 77 or TERP surfaces. They're obstructions, quote unquote, to some other surface that NGS and FAA monitor when designing approaches. I don't have more specifics, but they said that they should have the revised upload done this week. They've already received communication from FAA that they're fast tracking it. So by the end of next week, we should have all of that information accepted and the approaches in design. So I'm not sure how long those approaches take to design, but hopefully they are a quick turnaround. I think in either case, you'd have to wait until the December publication in order to get those approach plates actually put into an approach book.
But within the meantime, the reels and the pappies will be approved, right?
Yes, once the as-built survey is accepted, we can schedule that flight check.
Right, excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions on the runway project? Okay, not hearing any. We'll go on to the fuel farm. Construction of the new self-serve fuel system is now substantially complete. The final inspection took place immediately prior to the runway inspection on the same day. The only remaining punch list work includes the modification to the information sign on the tank system and final seating. So the modification on the sign is we need to add a phone number for the, I believe it's the Fitchburg Fire Department.
No, that's already there. It's for the emergency contact number.
Okay. So they have to add the emergency contact phone number and then seed some of the bare spots. Otherwise, everything should be fully operational. And is the fuel facility open now?
Oh yeah, we opened it last Friday,
Excellent.
and their people are coming, so which is good.
That is great news.
Thank you.
So,
Nick, Peter, we want to make some kind of a splash about this.
Well, I thought we were going to do it at the same time as we opened up the runway officially.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really open up the runway and make a splash. I thought it'd be nice to combine the two together instead of having two separate. But You know,
Okay, well, that's fine. All right. But there is a plan of some kind and we want to,
yeah, as soon as COVID's gone.
because it's great. Well, I think we can do something anyway. Deb, what do you think? I mean, it's outside. We can distance, keep your masks on if that makes you fuzzy, warm and fuzzy. And if we do that, I mean, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we
What do
can.
you guys think?
Of course you can.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, we have a limited number of people there, the commission, of course, and who, maybe some of the people certainly at the Aeronautics Commission, FAA.
Carlo, yeah.
So you're talking a ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Because that's a big deal. That fuel farm is a big deal. I mean, we're already seeing.
Where do we
Peter
stand?
informs us always of the aircraft that are coming in there. Again, the extension of the runway obviously is already, resulting in benefits. But the fuel farm is a component to that, and I just think it's, it's and these guys moving out of Hanscom, that says a lot right there. I mean, this is, yeah, I think it's great, and we ought to exploit it. Let everybody know that.
Yeah.
Shout it from the rooftops.
Well, with Nagel coming in and taking over 10, he was down there a long time, 20
Right.
years. So now the word's getting out. So here we go.
That's right. Okay, good. I'll
And
leave it with you, Peter. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's fine.
all right. And
Okay.
Deb,
on that topic, there was the correspondence received about the article in Airport Improvement Magazine. I don't know if, Peter, you'd like to discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, I sent it through I actually sent a copy of what the write-up was today, and I included AJ on it, hoping that he was going to pass it to the mayor.
Yeah.
Basically,
I think I got a glimpse of it. Yeah.
right, in contact with Airport Improvement Magazine, this goes to over 100,000 people that actually fly into airports, and it's a complete write-up of what's been done on the new runway. And I gave Nick and Gail's name to the reporter and did one on behalf of the city and put the wording in that you wanted with Baker and the Ippolito, etc. Contact. And it's all been done. Nick did they sent it to us today. I did some corrections. Nick did some corrections, and it's gone back, and they're going to do the final and then send it to us, and it should go into the next magazine, which is
Great.
fantastic. Put Fitchburg on the map. So, unless you want to add
Listen,
something.
Peter,
Nick?
I don't want to be accused of being vain, but make sure it's a capital N in DiNatale. Nothing pisses me off quicker than when they write my name with a small n. Okay.
Right.
Just
Oh, yeah,
a-
no,
just a
absolutely.
note of- Just a note of caution. That's all.
Yeah, no, I've written it to him twice now, and this first one he didn't even put that in, so I went back and said, further to our agreement, would you please add this? And
Okay.
capital D, small I, capital N, or sorry, uppercase D,
Uppercase. That's right.
uppercase
I don't
N.
know if everybody nowadays knows what capital N is. I mean, yeah.
See? No, well,
At least they can pronounce your name.
Are we all set? Good, Nick? Is that it?
Yeah, I have difficulty myself sometimes.
Yeah. They butchered it.
So if there are no other questions on the fuel farm. There are a few other items that we can discuss very quickly. Any other
ahead.
questions on the
Go ahead.
So as far as other items, Gail participated in Fitchburg's Capital Improvement Plan meeting on August 10th with members of the Airport Commission as well as FAA and DOT. As discussed during the meeting, the following projects are anticipated for the airport in 2021. There's a master plan and airport layout plan update. In 2022 will be an environmental assessment to clear each of those master plan projects. 2023 is permitting for work with the reconstruction of Taxiway Charlie and the unnamed taxi lane, as well as installation of wildlife
fencing.
fencing around the airport. So any questions on the CIP?
you know, with the, you say fencing in there, or when is the fencing?
I'm sorry?
We had discussed fencing at a meeting that we had online. That's, when does that mean put in now? 2024?
It
Peter?
looks like 2024.
That's what it's planned for at the moment. And
Yeah, okay. Because
I
it
made a
moved.
bit of a big deal about it because
Yep,
it
yep.
really is one of security and safety at the airport.
Yep.
And it had actually gone out further than that. It went into 2025, I think.
Yeah, yep.
And they pulled it back to 2024. And what it means is that, you know, there's going to be a 10-foot fence all the way around the airport. So, you know, that ties in again with something we're going to move to in the future when we talk about the solar farm.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So
You talking the fence on the main drag to Crawford and Airport Road?
all the way around, Richie.
Yeah, well, our issue there is how many crashes do we have in the course of a year that we're paying to have those fences repaired? There should be a better barrier than just a fence because we're going to be continuous this forever repairing fences. Now, we talked about that a while ago and it kind of fell off the wayside. But now, if there's going to be money expended in an elaborate fence system, you should think about maybe some other kind of a barrier. I'm just, you know, that's just what I noticed. And of course, you know, the 6 years I've been on the commission, you know.
We've been talking about it longer than that, Richie, right? Since I joined the commission
Yeah.
16 years ago.
Yeah.
We've been asking for it, you know, and it always gets pushed away. Even Jersey barriers or something like that, or one of the, you know, the metal barriers. Even some signs or put in
Well,
some
where's the
arms or something.
Where's the accident area you're talking about? Where is the most prominent area that's having the accidents? Is it all along the fence line, or is it on the corner?
No, if you come out of the airport road,
Yeah.
and you go into Crawford Street and you take a right,
Yeah.
it's down there on that
Yeah.
long sweeping bend.
Yeah,
Okay,
all the time.
all right.
In fact, the Masdot Aeronautics have just paid to have an 8-foot fence put in on 50-foot length there. So we've now got an 8-foot fence with about a 4-foot fence, and it looks crazy, but you know, it can be upgraded to a 10-foot fence. That was the beauty about the 8-foot fence.
Right,
So
yeah, okay. All right, anything else, Mr. Nick?
Nothing from me, Matt or Armand, if you have anything.
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, nothing else on this?
Okay.
Okay, moving along. Fitchburg Pilot Association, update.
there is nobody here, I don't think, but I mean,
Right,
they
no.
did send us the update on what's happening in the hangar, and they have to do that every year. So we got that from them.
Yeah, we already got that,
Yeah,
okay.
we covered that.
Okay, under new business, item 5, consultant selection.
Well, I believe that Gail's consultancy tenure with us is coming to an end or has come to an end. And we've got all these things that we need to do on the airport master plan that's coming up, plus all
Right.
the other things. And it's time to re-elect a new consultant for the airport. And
Okay,
basically it's a professional consultancy service, airport planning and engineering consulting services. And it has to be advertised in the paper.
okay,
And I've asked Matt Caron to come along and Armand DeFresney, who actually, you know, did the prior one for us. And it takes us through the request for qualification experience statements, airport planning and engineering services. That's what we're looking for. And
Yeah.
then whoever wants to apply, we actually have a rating form to fill in. So whoever applies goes onto the rating form, and you've got company background, experience, ability to perform, key staff members, local knowledge, and references. Now, I know this is something that we have to go through, but, you know, I don't know if I should say this at the meeting because I can't be, identify one particular company, but I think Gail's done an incredible job for us over the past X amount of years with the new runway, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, I'd like Armand or Matt to talk about, you know, what this basically entails, if that's okay with the rest of the commission.
Can I ask the question? Does this require going through the normal procurement process? Does Mary Delaney and her procurement people, do they need to get involved in this, guys? Or how, I mean, how does that work? I know there were legal components to, to this process. So what are your thoughts on this? How's that work? Do you know? And you're mute. I'm not hearing.
I believe Mary does.
Well, it's basically you're interviewing, right? Is that what we're talking about, Peter?
Yeah, once people apply.
Yeah.
How many other companies are out there?
So you put the notice out there and the company applies, right? And then the
Right.
process begins with the interviews, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And what the mayor's asking, is there anything legal involved?
Well, that usually emanates from the procurement office. If it's a city process, it's a city contract, it's got to go through that shop, if you will, you know?
Nick, is that the way it goes?
Nick, you're shaking your head, right? Is that,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, I guess my question is, is Mary Delaney, the city chief procurement officer, is she aware of this? Because she has to get involved, obviously, right?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay,
Yes, Simon, I can hear you, yeah.
thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Well, every place kind of does this a little bit differently. Mary Delaney, by the way, is familiar with this because she was in
Oh,
Ghana.
I'm sure. That's right, yeah.
And we've been there about 20 years, so we've been
Yeah.
through this several times. You can do it any way you want. A lot of cities or towns do not go through their purchasing departments. It's a little bit simpler. It's not a bid. It's not a public bid like for construction or something like that. There's no financials involved in this. It's qualifications only. So
Okay.
what the FAA and the state, what we have to follow are the FAA rules, and the state goes along with that. It's a very simple process. You advertise it in the local newspaper and also the Central Register. You send out an RFQ. People request it. You send out the RFQ. You review the responses and you make the selection. That's the process. It's very straightforward. Now, you can make it as easy or as complicated as you want. A lot of purchasing agents would like the consultants to do the designer selection process, which we've done. But I would talk with Mary Delaney and find out what it is that she wants.
Yeah.
And we can do whatever she wants, and the Airport Commission can direct us to do whatever she wants.
Well, if you commissioners, if you allow me, I don't want this to be misconstrued in any way that I think Gail's done an outstanding job. And, I don't know who else is going to come down the pike. So I'm not going to state that I've got a dog in this fight or whatever, but I like what Gail's done. And I think the commissioners probably agree with me. And, Nick and Matt, they're so young. I mean, to just let them go by the wayside, I mean, it would really pull at my heartstrings. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, if Armin hits the road,
I appreciate
it's
that.
my
Thank you.
fatherly thing coming out. You see what I mean? I just want to make sure these kids are okay,
Absolutely.
Armin, that wouldn't include you, but I
No,
mean,
of course not.
you're old like me. So,
Mr. Mayor, I agree with you. I think, not speaking off the cuff, I think they've done a wonderful job for the certain time that I've been on the commission. And I think we have to look at that.
yeah, I will talk to Mary,
Okay.
and I'll let Peter know what
Okay.
she recommends.
That works.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, old business, yearly badge. Access fee, including businesses. Peter, how are we going with that?
Oh, basically, it's the same as last month.
Yeah.
The businesses themselves don't pay for an access badge, but we have 4 businesses on the airport, or 4 people that are on the airport that actually are pilots. So
Okay,
whether they've got a business or not, they need access to the airport.
Right.
So my idea was, it's $10 a year. And at the last meeting, it was voted down. I mean, I'll go with what the commission says. It doesn't matter to me. $40 a year as against no bucks a year. It all adds up. But if you guys don't want to do it, we've just added a
Well,
10% increase, as you know, to the rental.
How many people at the airport would be getting a badge? Is there a number here?
In total,
Yeah.
as a guess, I'd say, Debbie, you can correct me, maybe 100 and, well, if we look at the airplanes that are there, plus all the people that are working
Yeah.
there,
The ones that needed badges. You talking
Right.
over 100?
it's between 150 and 200, I would guess.
Okay. So times that times 10,
Yeah.
you got a few bucks in the
Yes,
till.
you have. But I mean, that's already happening with the exception of the businesses.
So the businesses would have to purchase for their employees or themselves, or is that what we're talking about here?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go to Hanscom and you go to Nashua, everybody has to have a badge to get in,
Yeah.
and the businesses pay for them. And it's a lot more than what we charge.
Well, my view on that is as we grow and as more aircraft come in, and as these organizations become part of our airport, I think it's necessary that we do have badges for everybody. And I think it's necessary that we charge for them. Because if they charge for them, they take better care of them. If you give them away free, it becomes just something that goes in the desk drawer. It's a nominal fee. It covers the cost, but it also throws a few bucks in the kitty at the same time. No? You shaking your head, Debbie? What's going on?
Rick, Commissioner
Our
Raymond,
costs.
you had some questions about it, right? I mean,
Clay?
Yes. So question tonight about it is is this badge something that's yearly? They have to pay $10 yearly?
Yes.
And why do we give him a new badge?
No,
Every
the first one pays for the badge because we have to buy the badge.
Okay.
The second one, if he still looks the same as he did a year before, we
Yeah.
charge them $10, and that goes onto our side,
Yeah.
and it doesn't go to Masdot Aeronautics.
Right.
processing fee.
Yeah, I mean, this is something.
Exactly.
It was originally, I think, 2 years, Debbie, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It was originally a badge that was for 2 years.
Between
Right.
2 and 3, yes.
Right. So as soon as I took over, I said, this is crazy. Looking at the other airports where I've been in, asking them how much they pay, and we don't charge every year. I instigated the $10 a year, and everybody's happy with it. They're not complaining about it. It's just that we don't have the businesses paying.
We don't charge our employees, right?
No,
Okay.
no, because they're city employees.
All right.
All right, so I'm going to pose the question once again. I'll look for a motion to charge $10 for badges as stated before. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So aye.
I,
So the motion carries. Peter, you got your $10.
Okay, thank you very much. So when anybody needs a new badge from now on, in the business side, it's a $10 charge.
Peter,
Okay.
can I ask you what the average price is to other airports? You said that that's a lesser fee. What's the average of airports for badges?
Right. The ones that I've spoken to up in Nashua, it's about 65. In Hanscom Field, it's 89.
Okay. All right, so we won't get a lot of bitching back at us, and that's what I don't want to piss people off. I understand the need, but I don't want people to say, you're price gouging, you're whack, you're crazy. We don't know what the prices are, what other airfields are getting. So I just want to make sure that we're not taking advantage of a situation.
Right. I don't think we are, because all the people on the airports are paying at the moment, with the exception of our business people. And everybody's happy with $10. I mean, they're paying for security as well. Nobody can get into that airport unless they've got a badge. So, you know, they're paying $10 a year for security of their aeroplanes and their businesses on the airport.
Okay.
Which is not a lot of money.
And it's a nominal fee, $10 a year.
Right, right.
Spend that much for coffee in the morning. Okay, moving along. Item B, fill the commission member vacancy. Peter, you're the pilot friend of yours there? Where are we with that?
There was basically people have sent in letters to the city.
Okay,
We haven't had any responses. So, you know, that's all I can say. And I actually spoke to one of the gentlemen the other day.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman of color and he's a pilot at the airport and he
Okay.
would welcome getting onto the commission.
okay.
you
There's
sent
a couple
those
of
to
ladies
who,
as
Peter?
well.
Who'd you send those communiques to?
To the mayor of the city of Fitchburg.
You sent it to me.
No, they came through to you in the
They
city.
did.
Not from me. They just, you know, I told them because
Oh, wait, there was one guy. Yeah, one guy that I thought you sent me.
no, I gave you the person's name that was going to apply,
Oh, okay.
and he sent the
All right,
letter. on. Should I get him to apply again?
Yeah, give me his contact and I'll give him a call and have him come in.
Okay.
We can chat.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, that handles that.
How about our search for a manager? Oh, how is that?
Oh, we're all set with that. Next question.
Look at that. We don't talk about that, Rich.
We're all set with that.
We got him hooked. We're trying to keep him on the line.
We just,
All right.
we just hooked them?
Yeah, we hooked him. He's hooked. He's in the boat.
He's in the boat, not a problem.
Done. He's gonna be dinner.
Not gonna throw him back either. Okay, item C, manpower. Peter, you got a manpower situation?
Yeah. Basically, Terry Parker's back at work now.
Okay,
And everything seems to be going okay. Yeah, I'm giving him things to do other than what the agreement with him was.
Yep.
And he wants to be involved. So I've asked him to get a letter from his doctor to say that he can go back to normal duties, but social distance and sanitize and wear the mask and everything.
oh,
And
good,
he said he's going to do that. So I've heard nothing since, but everything's good now.
good.
Can we put a time frame on that, Peter? Can you kind of get him to
I'll
step
talk
it
to
up?
him tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Very good. Time frame. Not airworthy airplanes on the tie downs.
Yeah, Debbie was the one that raised this. She said they look terrible, et cetera, which they do
Yeah,
because they're into disrepair, the tires are flat, etc. So I put my thinking cap on and I actually sold 2 of them.
sold to what, airplanes?
Airplanes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And then I called the people and said, I've sold your aeroplane. They said, oh, great. So they've got the money and you've got the planes off the site. So which is good.
Wow.
And we maybe have maybe 6 or 7 now.
Yeah.
That are left still.
Is that right?
And people are paying their bills.
Good.
You know, and that's $88 a month for a tie down fee.
Yeah.
So, and there are other people interested in buying some of those planes as well. And I'm waiting for them to come forward once we get the details of how to contact them.
Now, that letter that I said, that I signed off, that lien that I signed off, is
Yes.
that plane still here or is it
No, it's still here. It's being worked on and that's flying to Pennsylvania when it's done.
okay, all right.
Okay. And we got all the money that was outstanding. We got over
Good.
$1,000, I think, $1,100. So
Good, good. That was good to see that, all right. Hangar 10 update with Mr. Nagel. Oh, wait a minute, Debbie, you have your finger up?
Chairman, Deb has a question. Yep.
I just wanted to go back to the not airworthy planes.
Yeah,
I want to try to prevent something like this happening in the future and would look to have the commission possibly put in some type of rule that we give some type of notice if there's torn cape, the covering over the top, or they have flattened tires, give them a certain period of time to get it ship shape. And if not, then we contract out to have the tires pumped up or whatnot, and then they get billed. Would like to see a certain type of standard across the front line, particularly since we have our jet traffic come in, and that's write what they see as they come in.
Good
Well,
point,
we
good point.
Put a set of standards together.
Yes.
Inflated tires, covers tied down, aircraft, listing what they should look like. and
Well, is
publish
there a
that.
template? Is there a template we can simply employ that, so we
Yeah,
don't have to reinvent the wheel here? That has all of that mapped out and so they know
I
up
would,
front,
I would hope so.
time frame. I'm sure other airports have that stuff. Maybe you guys at Gale, maybe you can get us a template of some kind, something like that.
But
I
we
don't know.
can research
So,
it.
and we could
Okay.
incorporate
Yeah.
that into their rental agreement.
Yes,
That's where it
Okay.
needs to be.
Yeah, all right.
that needs to be done. Hanging 10.
Okay. Joseph Nagel successfully moved in. He paid in June, and that's when we were doing the work that we said we would do if he provided all the materials. He must have spent maybe 40 grand in bringing that hangar up to the spec that he would want it to see. And none of that money is paid for by the airport, only the labor. And of course, the majority of it was done when we were closed down with the runway closed. Now, the offices, he's built out 3 office spaces within the old office area that was a shambles.
Right.
We had the fire inspector in there today. He's approved it. We've had the electrical inspector and the plumbing inspector both in there. They've approved it. He's just doing paint now on the walls. And then next week, Monday or Tuesday, John, the building inspector, the overall building inspector is going in to sign off because he's got the 2 other signed off already. So it's been a total success, total success. So he's happy, Nagel's happy. There's a couple of things that you're going to hear when we get to almost the end, when you ask for the airport manager's report.
Okay.
That I'm going to bring up. Okay. But yeah, Nagel's in and everything's good.
He's going to be the leader of migration from those big airports to Fitchburg.
Well, there's already 2 guys come
Yeah,
with
he's
their
done-
beaches and they've got them housed now at Fitchburg.
Yep.
And other people actually fly in just to get fuel now because of the difference in price of our fuel compared to what they charge at Massport.
It's
So it's just getting the word out.
yeah, it is.
No?
It is, and it's as you and I have talked on occasion that Nagel is the forerunner. He's going to bring him in. He's with the type of individual that he is. He, very dynamic, talking individual. I'm sure he's telling his friends up there about the good things that have happened to him down here in Fitchburg.
Oh, absolutely.
And as a net result, we're starting to see, as you said earlier, you're starting to see, movement, which is a
Right.
good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, item F, rent abatement.
Hey, guys, just to let you know, I'm getting a signal that's telling me my connectivity is unstable. So if you lose me,
I've
That's
got the
why.
same, Mr. Mayor. I've got the
So-
same. It says the bandwidth
Go ahead.
is low. Yeah.
yeah, I'm having,
All right,
okay,
you're still
got
with
it.
us.
yeah.
Okay, rent abatement, Peter?
Yeah. Generally, there's 4 businesses that, don't think it's fair that they had to pay their full rent, and they've withheld it for the time that we were closed down for the basically 6 weeks. I was talking to the FCA owner, Jim Powell, and he said, look, Peter, he said, if it's legal for you to do that, I will pay it. But I don't think it's legal. Can you please speak to your legal counsel? Now, I sent an email to Vinny or a text to Vinny asking him if it is legal to do what we've done, and I'm waiting for an answer. And if the answer's, yeah, it is legal, then he will pay. So I'm just waiting for an answer.
Vinny, you still with us?
Vinny,
He's got to be unmuted.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I received Mr. Kettle's text on Sunday morning, and I opened the text message. I was assuming he was looking for mass times at St. Anthony's. being the Lord's Day, and then I didn't get back to it. So, I have to go back and take a look at that, Peter. So forgive me.
Okay, no, that's okay.
All right.
Okay.
But yes, I don't think that there's anything improper about the fact that the facilities were being upgraded and they were not able to be used during that period of time. I don't think there's anything in their lease that requires adjustment for the rent in connection with a upgrade of their facilities. And then the other thought that I had expressed the last time we talked about this in the meeting is we'd be more than happy to give them adjustment when the facilities weren't available. But now that they're improved, we would like to talk about an adjustment moving forward. And I think that should probably resolve the problem.
Well, we've just put up the rental by 10%.
Okay.
Which wasn't very well received, but everybody's paying. And when I explained that, you know, if you take the average of 2.2% a year over the 7 years that they haven't paid, that's 15%. But we only chose to go 10%. And as of now, every year there's going to be a 2.2% increase as we move forwards.
Yeah.
And I put that in writing.
Sure. And so there is no written provision in any of the leases that I'm aware of that allows an adjustment. And you know, if you wanted to come in and use King Solomon's logic here and split the difference with the folks that are complaining, I would support that as well. Either of those positions, I think, would be reasonable.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Jay. What about rent abatement on Hangar 10?
Well, we have to do that because Nagel has a sublease of the lease. And whilst that hangar was empty and we were doing all the repairs, Rich Corley, you know, is saying, I really shouldn't pay for this because I couldn't use the hangar, which is absolutely true.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to get to this when we get to the abatements a little bit further down. All right.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Item H, finance charge, late fees assessed, rent and fuel.
Yeah, we've had a problem with people not paying their bills on rents and also on fuel, but we've almost got both of them almost down to zero. And part of this is what we've been responsible for because they shouldn't have been charged. So we've got the abatements to do tonight as well.
Right.
Now, what I'd like to do is do the standard 18% per year, the same as the city does, 1.5% per month if they don't pay the bills on time.
Okay.
And today I sent an email to Calvin Brooks.
Yeah.
I spoke to Sharon Tardif for the to see if it was okay and could she do it. And she said, yes, she can do it. So my email went to, excuse me, my email went to Calvin with a copy to Vinny. And I know that I've got to put out a letter maybe a month in advance of actually applying that for the future. And basically I'm asking if it's possible and how do I go about it, please? Because, you know, people just don't pay the bills. It's crazy. But now we've got it down, I want to continue of getting the money in every month.
Yeah. You need a little incentive, that'll do it.
Right. So I'm just waiting for Calvin and Vinny to come back to me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think sure that.
So Peter, on that point, isn't there in the leases, isn't there a late fee charge on the tenancy?
Yes, there is, Vinny. On the lease itself, it says you will pay 1.5% per year. I read that today. So we've got the lease correct, but there's a lot of people that are tenant at wills. And these are the big people that have got the money. So, you know, one of the things I'm going to do is take those leases now. We're back and running again with the fuel farm and everything else and go in and see them. Look, you wouldn't have had to pay this 10% increase if you had a lease. Sign the lease. What's your problem? And one of the good things is that Rich Corley, who is the tenant at Hangar 1, is also the tenant at Hangar 10, where Nagel is. And I took him into the hangar, Nagel's hangar, last Thursday and showed him what's been done. And I said, you know, when he leaves here, this is your next step, isn't it? He said, wow, this is fantastic. I said, Rich, I need you to sign an agreement. He said, get it to me. So, you know, that's my next plan. Get everybody with an agreement instead of being a tenant at will.
Peter, do you have a form for a building lease and a form for a land lease at this point that you can just change the names and the numbers on and use that?
I don't have the building lease. I only have the land lease, the one that
Okay.
you did, the new one.
Yeah, the building lease is the FTC lease. And I'll try to strip that out and make it a clean form for you
Okay, thank you.
to change the names and numbers. Okay.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Standard operating procedures.
Yes. Next item.
Okay.
I haven't had time to do anything on that, Dan.
I get it.
Haven't
I
had
got one
time.
coming from Rhode Island. I gotta go
Yeah.
down and pick it up. Drones.
I'm really waiting for the lifting of the COVID because I need people in a room to make the presentation.
Yes, of course.
So, you know, at the moment I'm okay with it because the people around here, when they fly their drones, they're actually calling us and letting us know that they're flying,
Okay,
which is good. And we either say, yes, you can or you can't, depending on where they are.
okay.
So
Very good. All right. Building 6 demolition.
that's on there for next year.
Okay,
It's not in the budget to take the asbestos building down.
okay. And the solar farm.
Well, I looked at that last week and noticed that I'm waiting for the people that are actually going to provide us with the details.
Mhm.
Haven't come back to me. So I called them, left a message, and a guy called me and he said, okay, really sorry, COVID-19, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, look, I said, I don't want to waste your time. I'm looking for a company to come in here, set their solar farm up at their cost and pay us around about 200,000 a year because of the facility for them to produce the electricity. Is that possible? It went quiet. And he said, yeah, that's possible.
Oh,
200,000 a year to the airport.
to the airport.
Yes. Not the mayor. The mayor's not having any of this. This is for the airport.
That's a lot of potholes, Peter. That's a lot of potholes. Come on.
It is, boss. It
Yeah,
is.
we'll be glad to loan it to you.
Actually, that's
2%.
not a lot of potholes,
Yeah.
but
It is.
that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
200 grand doesn't get you much.
No.
Jeez.
So I sent him
Yeah,
the layout
great.
of the airport today, and he's going to come back to me, set up a meeting. He's going to come in and take photographs and then get to work on it. This is the
Excellent.
company that AJ told me to contact.
Yep,
So,
great.
okay.
Well, that'd be a nice windfall, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, every year. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice bottom for a budget. Okay, financial review. Item A, approval of commitments and abatements.
Okay. I believe Debbie sent you the commitments for signing, or maybe that will happen a little bit later. But
Yeah.
with respect to the abatements, what we did, we went through the, what did they call it? City of Fitchburg, Mass Outstanding Bills Report. And there's about 7 pages of things that we need to look at with respect to the abatements. Debbie's got a list, and Debbie, if you could just go through that list and identify what the abatement quantities are, please, for approval from the commission.
Okay.
Thank you.
First, the commitments, this is what the city billed out in July and August. I added one, the airport trailer, because it didn't get billed out. And rather than having to come back and pick it up again for next month, I think if we just approve it, then Sharon will be able to apply it against the check that they already sent. They are billed yearly. The abatements, this is just basically housekeeping. Small amount, 435, is because Mr. Bosch went from a larger plane to a smaller plane. The next 2 are related. I think there was some miscommunication between Sharon and myself. The Mr. Diaz-Aredo was the primary owner of the plane with Mr. Pavoe. And when they transferred ownership, there was a dual billing, and the plane has since been sold and gone. And those numbers basically reflect a continuing billing and a miscommunication. The next three are also very similar. They're not at the airport anymore, transfers of airplane. And the next two, the $88 charges, are two of the planes that Peter sold off the line. And the new owner actually paid those amounts, but because they're pre-billed at the airport, we have to get these off the books. I'm gonna skip to the last one because Peter already alluded to this. The 5 months that Skyline was not able to use their hangar while we were using it and fixing it between January and May. And FCA is for 4 months, we had some mechanical problems within the hangar, within the administration building that prior administration had agreed to reduce the rent by $500 per month because we had a sewer smell that came up and needed to be remedied. Lower than that, the write-offs. Mr. Apley dates all the way back to Mr. Girton. That's been sitting on the books. I did not have permission to write things off or move things, and Sharon asked that we clean it up. The next three are credits. They're little piddly numbers that just need to be written off the books. And the last two, a $25 to the good and $130 to the good. What I would propose to do for these people, because they do fly, is just move it from the rent category over to the fuel category. So should they fly in, they will have money on account.
What's the total number of dollars we're talking about here?
I'm sorry?
What is the total number of dollars we're talking about? Roughly.
I didn't add them. But my spreadsheet is up, so. So the abatements are $15,081.45.
I got the wrong one.
Okay.
The write-off is $533.44.
So what kind of a motion are we looking for here, folks?
Mr. Chair, just a couple of questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Debbie, the sewer smell at that hangar, did we in fact fix it? Was there in fact a problem, or did it just simply go away on its own?
No, this was in the administration building in the flight school. And I'm not good with mechanical stuff. Sorry, guys. There's
This was
some
the old
type of
building. Yeah.
no,
The
this
old
building, this
Oh,
building.
the old building, right.
The plumbers had to come in, and apparently in order to keep the sewer wet, it has an automatic sprayer to keep water in the pipe. I don't know if I'm explaining it properly. And
Yeah,
it
Debbie,
failed.
yeah. That's right.
And they came in and fixed it one time, and it failed again, and they had to come back in again. We also had an additional problem with the air conditioning system that backed up and didn't drain and emptied out all kinds of water all over the floor and the wall. They actually had to cut a hole into the administration building in the lobby in order to remedy that problem. But these all happened on their side of the wall at FCA.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? So what are we looking for? A motion to approve all this?
Yes, please.
Okay, can I have a motion on that, please? Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll motion to agree with the abatements as Debbie described.
Okay.
I'll second.
Got a motion approved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, okay. Motion carries. Fuel sales,
Now you need an approval of the commitments as well.
okay, the commitments. Need a motion on that?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion is, on the commitments has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any approved? No. Okay, motion carries. Fuel sales,
Yeah, just to let you know, I think I put this one on here. We're seeing on average 2 jets a week now coming in.
really?
Yes, and one came in yesterday and purchased $900 worth of fuel, just like that.
Thank you very
instead
much.
of 15 to 20 that the small planes do.
Yeah,
And we've got another 2 coming in next week. There's one coming in tomorrow. So things are starting to pick up, even though we don't have the approach plates or the reels or the PAPIs in place. So
all right.
I honestly believe once that happens, and with this write-up that Nick alluded to earlier in the aircraft magazine, in the airport magazine, when people see, you know, that all this is going to happen, we're definitely going to take off. Definitely. Oh, that's a good word, isn't it? We're definitely.
Yeah.
So it's good news. So what we're going to do for the next meeting is have a graph of fuel sales from, say, December of last year,
Yeah.
right? Showing you where we're going on the graph in terms of fuel sales.
Good.
And that'll give you a better idea than just looking at numbers.
Good.
So, okay?
I,
Service price.
Nice. Can we start thinking, Deb, this is for you too. Can we start thinking about making a nice presentation to the council? The new runways, splash it up. You know what I mean? The lights, the bells, the whistles, all this stuff.
sure.
And oh, by the way, a fuel farm and what that means, what the sales numbers are, and the potential for a solar array that's going to garner some additional revenue for the airport. You know what I mean? So we can maybe poke some of the councilors in the eye that have a negative opinion of the airport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Put it right
Exactly.
in the
Only one.
watches. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, Debbie, go ahead.
Let's just think about doing something like that. Get on the council agenda and let's tout all the improvements that have been made at the airport.
Peter, Debbie, and I, we'll get something going.
Good,
Go ahead, Debbie.
good.
So I received an email from Nate Glenny that with all the improvements would like to come down to the airport, and we have some ideas about putting together a really nice presentation. So we will have the ability to splash it up thanks to
Good,
FATV and Nate.
excellent. Yep, good. Okay,
Just a little information. I'm still in contact with a lot of my friends in Rhode Island, and a few of my pilots in the Rotary Club down there in Warwick, and they've already heard, not through me, but they've already heard about some of the things that are going on here, the fuel farm and the extension of the runway. Where they got it, I don't know, but they're very interested because they want them to fly up the Main, and they're looking for a place to fuel the location. So it's getting out there.
you know, we get on the other side of this COVID thing. We really gotta, the next improvement we gotta make, we gotta bring a restaurant back to the airport.
Yeah, that's
I
fact.
mean, that's something I want to focus on. I really want to,
We also need
Exactly.
to bring in, Mr. Mayor, we've talked about this, Debbie and I,
Yeah.
and Peter, is the concierge service. Get some of these guys coming with these jets, these businessmen, people like that, provides, not go crazy, but have something in place where they can get a rental car, where they can get a hotel, that type of thing. But anyway, moving along.
We are doing that already, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we're getting the cars in.
Yep. Yep.
We're getting food in for
And
people.
advertise it, no, advertise.
Going around, you know, and the restaurant would just be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, rent.
I think we've gone through that one, haven't we?
Okay, all right.
Just to let you know, one of the renters at the airport is now up to $1,780 owing to the airport. I called him yesterday and I've got agreement from him that he's going to pay $900 within the next 2 weeks and another $900 in the next 2 weeks after that.
Okay, good.
Because I told him if he doesn't pay his bill, I'm putting his airplane out of the hangar on the line.
And then put a lien on it.
No, I'm just going to take it out of the hangar.
Oh, is that right? No.
Yeah,
Okay.
just put it outside. And it's a nice plane, so he wants to keep it in the hangar.
Yeah.
So he's going to pay his bill.
Okay.
So
I like your style, Peter.
Oh, you
I love
stop. Those 2 years about it. Okay, manager's operation report, Mr. Kettle.
okay, thank you. Well, you all know about the self-serve fuel farm. That's up and running, and it did open last Friday. And I want to take this point in time to thank Gale for all they've done in getting this done for us, because, and also the mayor for getting it into this year, because, you know, I thought there might be a chance we're going to lose it again like we did last year. So, you know, but a special thanks to Gale and Nick and Matt and Armin for everything you've done for us.
Yep.
So what I want to do very quickly is just go through the hangars that we have. Okay. Hangar 1 is now all good. That's with Rich Corley. We've put the pin board up. Everything's finished with that. The door works. Everything's good.
Okay.
Hangar 2, we've already purchased roof paint, screws. We plan to replace all the screws and paint the roof, but we do need a boom lift to get up there. And that boom lift is $1,930 for rental for a month.
Per month.
A month.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm going to plan that in within a month that I'm not going to spend anything else on anything else. All right. As a repair.
Right.
The tracks for the doors need repairing. That, you know, if you've got a nice plane and you can't open the doors, it gets you really frustrated in getting to your plane that you really want to get to. And some of the doors, they're terrible. They really are. Hangar 3, we managed to get pigeons out of there that had actually nested in there. And you can imagine the 4 nice aircraft underneath where the pigeons sat. They're out, but you know what? They went back into one of the other hangars that we got them out of before. So, you know, we're working on that at the moment to get them out. That hangar, the same as Hangar 2 and Hangar 3, were put in, I think, in around about 1930 or something. And we're saving the roof at this point in time because the only thing is it leaks. We've swept all the floors out. The guys in there are really happy with what we've done. It also needs the tracks repairing. Hangar 7, Twin City, we repaired the door. They're happy now. Hangar 10, Nagel's in there. He's happy with the exception of the tracks on the door. Hangar 12 needs a new roof. Needs new roof screws and sealant as well. Hangar 13, we had an incident where somebody opened the door incorrectly and pushed the hanger straight through the side of the metal sheeting on the door. Now, we went in and instead of getting a consultant to come in here and give us a price, or a door company to give us a price, because there aren't any around here, they're all down on the Cape, servicing the islands with the big doors that they've got on the hangars down there.
Right.
We repaired it ourselves and we worked out that the price to repair it was around about $450. We've handed that to the person that caused the damage, just to let you know. Okay. Instead of getting the consultant in, that might have been 4,500
Exactly.
instead of 450.
Good.
Bullock hangar, we repaired the large back door rails. Dependable has finished. In order to get the fuel farm running, we had to take 1,000 gallons and recirculate it every day for 7 days through the system and through the filters. And what that did was take all the impurities out of the lining of the inside of the hangar, of the tank. Once we'd done that, we had to put 500 gallons through a hose that goes into the airplane to clean the hose out for any impurities during the actual filling system.
Right.
We then took a sample. It was sent through Titan, our supplier, and came back absolutely perfect. And that's when we opened it up last Friday.
Okay.
Okay. Runway 3214 had the final inspection. There are a couple of things that still need to be doing that Nick alluded to. Some of them on the signs that need to be changed. And also we have a little bump in one area. But, you know, basically everything's good. I did put $25,000 into the budget this past year to get these things done, because people aren't going to keep their airplanes here unless they're clean in a clean environment.
Right.
Yes, we've got them coming through to the airport, but I'm getting a waiting list of people who want hangars. So we need to get the airport master plan done as soon as possible. And I know it's got to be next year, you know, to get these planes in here, to get this place really booming.
Mhm.
So yeah, we've got plans there. Everything's being done. We've got a good crew of people. They're all back at work and things are working well. So
Let me ask you a quick question, Peter. On Nagel's place, those tracks,
Yeah.
how bad are they? I mean, are they really, really rough?
we've either got to take up the concrete that's underneath it that goes down 2 feet,
Yeah.
and it's about 3 feet wide for a length of 60 feet. We've got to take all that out, or I called one of my colleagues at my old company.
Yep.
My old company produces a product called ARC. It stands for Advanced Reinforced Composites. And I believe that we can use that product on the surface of what we've got there instead of taking the whole thing out.
Okay.
And I discussed this with Nagel, and because of my association with the head of department there, I think we can get it on a free basis as a trial run, because there's thousands of airports around the world that have got the same situation as we have with old hangars.
Nice.
And he jumped at that to do a trial run free of charge.
Nice.
So
Good.
I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Good for you, Peter. Good.
Okay.
Yep. Job well done. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Date and time of the next regular meeting will be September 23rd, 2020. Hopefully we can do it face to face if everything goes well.
Oh, can I, before we close, can I just
Yeah.
ask a question? Vinny, Mr. Mayor, are you still there?
Yep, there.
Are they?
Yeah.
Now we're getting these people flying in for 4 hours that have to wait sometimes up to an hour outside the building. They're not happy campers, because everywhere else they go in Massachusetts, the airport buildings are open. So my question to you guys is, can we open the airport up?
You talking about the administration building?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, can I just ask a question on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Peter, they fly in, is that before we have the building staffed?
No. When we're there, they fly in.
So Debbie's in the building, you're in the building, whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
We've had the building down. We've had the building closed because Steve, the Board of Health man,
Steve Curry.
you know, says no, it's a city building. And Susan said no, it's a city building, and the city building is closed.
How many people are we talking about, Peter?
Well, I mean, if we open it up for them, everybody on the airport wants to use the bathroom. Because there's no bathrooms. That's why I put the porta potties outside. Now, you can't expect a guy coming in a jet from NetJets or wherever it is to go into a porta potty when he gets off a plane. He sees this beautiful building there and he doesn't have access to it. So my question is, can we open up the admin building? As long as people wear masks and they social distance.
Well, it's something that we're going to have to get the lead from the Board of Health on, Peter.
Yeah, I understand, Vinny. But, you
I
know,
mean, if it was up to me,
Yeah.
you know, we'd be having our bar rooms to be open, but it's not up to me, unfortunately.
Let me talk to Curry tomorrow. It's, you know, part of the challenge too is you got to, how do you control it? You know what I mean? How do you control the number of people? I mean,
Well,
if you,
we could actually, on the badges, we could actually only allow airport people to come in because there's a system that we have called an S2 system that controls where people can get through the gates and where they can get through the building to get access.
yeah.
So
You know
we
what
could
they're gonna
actually,
ask? They're
we
gonna
could,
ask.
we could set those cards up to allow only airport personnel in and not only people off the street, which
And
is.
every time somebody uses the bathroom,
If what, sorry?
every time someone uses the bathroom, it's gonna have to be sanitized.
Yes,
I
it
can tell
is.
you right now, that's what he's gonna say.
Yes, it is.
Now, who's gonna do that?
Well, we could put the sanitization stuff in there with the paper towels and say, look, you want to use the bathroom, these are the rules.
Yeah, that's the honor system. I'm not sure that works.
Well,
But
I'm just asking the
Let me
question.
talk to Curry tomorrow. Let me find out what.
Yeah, all right, let's table that until we get.
And finally, just before we close,
Yep.
you know this bad storm we had over the weekend?
Yep.
Since then, the S2 system has been down. And I called the New Era company, Ryan Ingalls, he's the owner of the company, and said, look, we need somebody here because we can't access what we normally access with the S2 system. If Debbie or I are sitting in the office, we can open gate 10 from the office. Our doors, right, we can open with our key cards, but our key cards won't work on the doors today, and we can't open gate 10. So it's a big problem for us. Now, he came in, he sent one of his specialists in, and basically the S2 control box was fried. It was fried by a lightning strike. So this is the price to repair it, which I have already given him the go-ahead to do. Can you see that?
I can't see it.
$20?
$5,193.
I thought I saw $20 too.
So
How much? Yeah,
$5,200.
for the new box.
Yeah.
It's the brain.
It's the brain. Yeah. It's the brains of the system.
Hey, guys, will Gail pay for that? No? Okay, never mind.
Well, look, I sent an email out tonight to Calvin, to Vinny and AJ saying, guys, is it possible, because it was a lightning strike, we could claim this back on the insurance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm waiting for an answer on that, but I've already given him I said, look, go ahead. Every card that we need to update to give an extension of life for another year has to go through the S2 box. So without it, we just become inoperative. We can't give a temporary card to anybody. We can't do anything. We're stuck.
Debbie, you had your hand up?
I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but I was told that the deductible was 10,000. That may have changed since we went with a new insurance company. I don't have the latest, but
No, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. It's more than, what was that, 5,000?
5,200, yeah.
No, it's probably more than that.
One thing.
Okay.
Yes, Nick?
The ASMP program covers fencing and security items at 100%. You may want to call Mass DOT on that one.
Okay, excellent. I'll do that, Nick. I'll do that. Okay?
Okay,
Excellent. And finally, this came up today, Mr. Chairman, if I could just say.
sure, go ahead.
We had Lieutenant Phil, what's his second name?
Jordan.
Phil Jordan at the airport today. And he was very pleased because for the first time in 7 years, we have a permit for our fuel system. So he was very happy.
That's good.
Yeah, he was floating around the office all day.
Oh, was he?
Oh, yeah.
Who the
Yeah.
hell was the mayor during that time? For
Yeah.
crying out loud. Oh, wait a minute, that was me.
He was in my office.
Never mind.
Okay.
Peter, how are we? Are we done? Are we set here?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Vinnie.
Thank you, everybody. especially
all.
Gail. Thanks, guys.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Peter.
Yep.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.